Two? No. Can you raise the volume a little bit?
Yeah.
I got number three. And they all need to go up. Test, testing, one, two. That's a little better. Testing, testing. Okay,
Check one,
good.
two, check. Testing.
Oh,
Good. All right, yeah, that's better. All right.
This
Okay, no. No, that mic is no good.
No, that's working, Chester.
it is working.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll have to, somebody, I'll just pass my mic over. All right, well, good evening, everyone, and thank you all for coming. I would like to call the Whittingham Homeowners Association, Greenbriar Whittingham Community Association Joint Open Board Meeting for Thursday, August 28, 2025. Would you all please rise for a pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance, flag, States of Okay, Matt, could I have a roll call, please?
Absolutely, Tom. We're gonna start with the WOA board. Tom Clark,
Here.
Jay Respler,
Yeah.
Kathy Dodano, Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson. And Greenbriar board, Mark Sirks,
Here.
Chester Trubinsky,
Here.
and Alan Greenberg and Jack Sandler are absent tonight. And I'm here and Kristen is here as well. And all of you.
Okay. You have a manager report for us, Matt?
Absolutely. Bear with me, guys. I just got back from vacation, so I haven't been talking much. All right. No, Susie read my report last week for the WOA open meeting, so a lot of this is going to be the same, but the pickleball courts are finally done. They look awesome. I hope everybody enjoys them. And I still don't play. Somebody's got to teach me. With that said, though, we are working on getting some prices for the pavilion out there. It hasn't been power washed and painted in a long time. We have some trees and shrubs we need to cut back from that are dying so we could actually get some access. So stay tuned on that. We're going to get some prices, try and spruce that up a little bit for everybody out there. A couple weeks ago, we finished the Whittingham driveway sealing project, which went very, very well. Looks good. Thank you to all the homeowners for moving your cars and cooperating. We only had a couple minor issues that we worked out, but it was great. SO Brothers did a wonderful job, and they were fantastic to work with. I think they spent more time putting notices out to homeowners than actually sealing driveways. So thanks to them. We have some work going on to the flooring in the annex on Friday, tomorrow, some repairs that need to get done. Got some wood buckling, so we'll have that taken care of tomorrow. Barcodes, this is a big one, everybody. If you have a barcode that is, the number is under 15,000, you can look on the barcode itself on your car. We need you guys to get those replaced. We have them. We've been doing this for weeks. Jose's been putting them on people's cars in front of the clubhouse here. The next date he's going to be doing that is September 5th from 11 to 3. Very important, you guys, if you haven't gotten that done, try and come down that day to get it done. I think we'll probably add a couple more days because we're going to have to. We haven't gotten everybody, but we want you to be able to get in and out of here easily in the gates. That software is not going to be working too much longer for those older codes. So that's why we're really doing this. Next thing, outdoor pool. I hope you guys all enjoy it. It is open through September 8th. So just want everybody to realize that and remember through September 8th, we double checked our contract. We double checked the pool company. We're good to go through the 8th. So hopefully the weather stays nice and everyone can enjoy it. Last thing I want to mention, we sent out the notices for the annual meetings for the Greenbriar board and the WOA board. The deadline to submit a resume, if you would like to be a nomination form and resume if you would like to join the board is September 4th, next Thursday at 4 p.m. So just want everybody to know that. All right.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Thanks,
Kristen, do you have a report for us, recreation?
Yes. Okay, I will start with Labor Day. On Monday, September 1st, Joe Antonazio will be providing music around the pool from 12 to 4. The the greenery is closed on Monday, but you are welcome to bring your own food into the pool area. We do ask clean up after yourselves. There'll be extra garbage bins put in place. September 3rd, we have a full bus heading to Atlantic City. If you'd like to go, put your name on the waiting list because we do have last minute cancellation sometimes. Friday, September 5th, St. Peter's is offering another CPR course. It's $15 per person. If you're interested, sign up in the nurse's office. On Wednesday, September 17th, we have a bus going to the Theater District of New York. It's on sale now with the concierge. September 27th at 7 p.m. in the ballroom, we have the music of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Tickets are $30 and there still is availability. September 28th is our Arts and Crafts Fair from 12 to 3 in the ballroom. If you're interested in having a table on display, pick up an application at the concierge desk. Flu shots are scheduled in the ballroom for Monday, September 29th from 10 to 2 and Wednesday, October 8th from 2 to 6. There's a flyer in the lobby and on the website with details on how to make an appointment. On October 8th, we have a bus going to Parks Casino. It's $30 a person and it's filling up fast. And lastly, our bus trip to see Just in Time was a huge success. So I'm working on getting tickets to see Mamma Mia. The tentative date for this is October 15th. And as soon as I secure the tickets and the bus, I'll begin to advertise.
Very good, thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 5. That's Greenbriar. You have any reports, approvals?
We cannot approve the minutes this month because we lack a quorum. So we'll table that till next month. I just want to use 120 seconds of this time to talk about a couple other little things. Number one, I put out a request in this issue of the Pulse, which you just received, that veterans in our community share their photographs with me at the Pulse email address, which I will be putting in the November Pulse in honor of Veterans Day. I will also share all of those photos with Kristen. Kristen, you still put out a board? We still do that, right? So one of the things I really appreciated when I moved here is on Veterans Day in the lobby was a board with pictures of residents in uniform from when they served. And frankly, the board is it's never, nobody comes off of it. It just keeps adding. And frankly, there's a lot of people on that board who say, let's just say they don't live here anymore. So I wanted to add fresh pictures to the board, which I will share with Kristen, or if she gets any pictures, share with me. And also, depending on how it works out, if I got 200 pictures, I'm not sure I can do it in the Pulse, but I would like to have an array of photographs in the Pulse from veterans. We've gotten a couple already. I think that's it. Oh, of course, we have elections coming up. It's real important. We have open seats we have 3 positions on the Greenbriar board. 2 incumbents are running for 2 of those positions, although anybody can run, but there will be at the very least 1 seat additional. So we do need somebody to run. I don't know if any applications have come in yet, but please look to yourselves with the notion of joining our board. I think that's it.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mark. All right, let's go on to item number 6, the Woolworth business. I need a motion to approve the open workshop minute meeting, June 16th, 2025. Do I have a motion on that? Moved by Kathy, second by Joe. Okay, any questions? Any corrections or anything? No? Okay, can I have a roll call on that?
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Wrestler, Kathy Dodano, Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
Okay, the approval of the June 26, 2025 joint open meeting minutes. Do I have a motion on that? Moved by Jay, second by by Bob. Okay, any discussion, any corrections? Okay, can I have a roll call on that?
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Wrestler, Kathy Dodano, Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
Next item is the approval of the July 21st, 2025 open workshop minute meetings. Do I have a motion on that? Moved by Jay, second by Kathy. Do I have any discussion, any corrections? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and take a roll call.
Okay. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Wrestler, Kathy Dodano, Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson. Thanks.
Okay, the next item, we have an approval of a proposal from Arcaro Masonry for various concrete repairs and replacements in Whittingham at a cost of $12,300 to be paid for from the Whittingham Capital Reserve account. This is various concrete work that's going to be done throughout Whittingham, broken sidewalks, stoops, and so on, as was deemed needed. So that's what this contract is for. Is anyone in the, first of all, do I have a motion to approve this? Move, second by Joe. Very good. Anyone in the public have any comment on this? Okay, seeing no comment from the public. Any comment from the board? Okay, Matt, can I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Wrestler, Kathy Dodano, Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
All right, next item, we have the approval of a proposal from Century Lighting Services for ballroom lighting modifications for a cost of $6,764 to be paid from the operating account. As we said at the last meeting, anyone who attends regular functions here, dinners and parties and so on, you'll always see the lights are going up, they're going down. Nobody knows how to operate the switches. There's been problems with that for years. So finally, we've gotten a hold of the right company to do that. And Mort, who's sitting in the back there, has been a great big help with us to identify the problem and get the right vendor for us so we could get this corrected. So thank you for your time and effort, Mort. And that's what the contract is about. So do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Jay, second by Kathy. Anyone in the audience want to have comment on this? Okay, seeing no one, I'll take a roll call.
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Wrestler, Kathy Dodano, Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, Jeff Simonson.
All right, next item is the approval of a proposal from Biondo Roofing to replace the lower roof on 61C Winthrop at a cost of $6,770.
Okay.
Be paid from the Whittingham.
Oh, yeah,
Capital
I know.
Reserve.
Yeah, all right.
As we said last week, this is a model, it's a grande model. It's a particular problem with the Whittingham homes over there. The roofs were not built with enough slope. So this is a common problem of leakage on those roofs over a number of years. And the only way to do it and correct the problem is really to rip the entire roof off, put a membrane down, and then replace the roof. So that's what's being proposed here to do to help the resident at this address. All right, do I have a motion to approve this? Moved by Joe's, who moved it? Oh, Jeff, you, sorry. Jeff moved, Joe second. Okay. Does anyone in the public have comment on this contract? Seeing none, I will close it and call for roll call.
Okay. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Wrestler, Kathy Dodano, Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, Jeff Simonson. Thanks.
All right, the last and final item is the approval of a proposal from Taylor Fence for the fence replacements at the 219 Whittingham homes with PVC fencing at a cost of $497,500 to be paid from the Whittingham Capital Reserve account. As you know, we had another contractor on. Unfortunately, they didn't do the job as specified, so we stopped them from working. We had to go get another contractor to do this job. There are some residents that have fences already taken down and their yards are open. So it's a priority to get this done as soon as possible. So that's what this contract's for. We're replacing all the fencing in the Whittingham townhouse area. So it's going to make the community look a lot better. And there was one up for a short time that a lot of people saw on Whittingham. And there was a lot of positive comments being made about the fence. A lot of people were pleasantly surprised how attractive it was. So we were, very glad to hear that. And it'll also take care of the Whittingham carpenter bee problem because they were all making homes in those fences. So that hopefully will save us a few $1,000s in the fees we're paying every spring to get rid of the carpenter bees. All right. Do I have a motion on the board on this? Moved by Kathy, second by Kathy Donano. Do I have anyone in the public who'd like to give comment on this? Yes, please. I can't, we have to get you, you'll have to come to the microphone. No, we can't hear it. Is the mic should be on, press the button. There you go.
Right.
29C Rutland. I just have a question. Will all these fences be done in this time?
I don't know if he's going to be able to complete it. We asked that question. Obviously, it's getting late in the season. He's got a lead time in ordering the material. By the time he gets it on here and he gets himself set up to work, he said he's going to make every effort to get as much as he done. He says he'll work until the ground gets hard.
And another question is, will he also be the company you can ask to move your pavers and you pay them a price or whatever? Sorry. Will he be able to, like the other vendor was, you were going to charge $50 or whatever it was?
Well, he said he was going to, take care of the pavers. He said there'll be no back charging on that work. The only thing he can't guarantee is with the new post going in, if the paver will fit exactly. The paver may need to be cut, then that's to be determined once the job is underway. And if it does, he said that's going to be the homeowner's responsibility. He won't cut the pavers.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I think we had sent rules around about the fencing and what the do's and don'ts are about the fencing. So we'll do that again once the new fences are being put in place again. Anyone else in the public have a comment? Yes, please. Yeah, come to the mic. We can't hear you.
It's not on the fences, but going back to the cement work, how is it determined where the cement work is going to take place? And the reason I'm asking is I was getting ready to call a cement contractor because on my stoop at 71B Winthrop, you can see it's coming apart and it's problematic and it's kind of ugly. So I didn't want sort of a stopgap repair that seemed to be offered
Okay.
a while ago.
No, no.
So what's the plan?
Matt, what was the process you went through on evaluating what work needed to be done?
Yeah, I mean, mostly we got a lot of work orders and complaints in from residents about areas, and we went out and inspected them and looked at other areas while we were out there. But do you want to call me tomorrow to see if, I don't have the full list right. What's your address again?
71B Winthrop.
Okay, call
And
me, call me tomorrow because we already have another list going that we're going to get
okay.
some other prices
Yeah,
on.
because some Bill came by.
Yeah.
Because I had called a while ago, but I wanted something not just funny little repairs. I wanted a more formal look. So anyway, I'll call.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. That's an
Thank
easy
you.
one.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the public want to speak on this issue? All right, seeing no one, I will close it to the public. Any comment from the board? Seeing none, I'll ask for a roll call.
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler, Kathy Dodano. I missed Jay. Okay. Kathy, yes. Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
Okay, next I'll turn it over back to Mark here for some reports from the Greenbriar Board.
Okay, first off, is now we're gonna talk about this, Kathy? And this, I suppose. The Budget and Finance Committee met a week or so ago. I was on a cruise in Alaska, so I wasn't there. But there were a number of things discussed, and we also have now is results as of June 30th, half-year results that Kathy has put into a digestible format. Do you folks have these numbers out there? Was there, okay, good. Otherwise, I'd have to just make them up. Okay, so these are the Greenbriar. I'm only going to speak to Greenbriar's financial condition, not WOA, not Whittingham's. So as you can see, we have over $1 million in cash assets. About half of that money, a little more than half of it, is in the reserves. The Greenbriar board has been very diligent about putting sufficient funds in the reserves. Fortunately, reserving for Greenbriar's future capital expenditures is not very complicated because Greenbriar has very few depreciable assets that have to be replaced. We've recently completed all of the paving, which is really the bulk of what Greenbriar has to reserve for. And so the reserve account is on the lower end of things, but it is being replenished each month, each year on target with where it needs to be for the folks who are going to have to do these sorts of things in the future. So we're in good shape in that regard. And aside from that, we have an additional $600,000 in cash in the operating account. We have very small receivables, 14,000 in receivables. Payables, I'm sorry. Payables, these are monies that we owe vendors at the moment in time on June 30th. If there was a bill that we received or we expected to receive that hadn't actually been paid out as of June 30, it then becomes a payable. It just means it'll come out of cash in the next probably 30 days. Very low figures, 14, 15,000. We have a number here, prepaid assessments and revenues, 121. Kathy, are these people who have paid their maintenance fee in advance? That's the only thing I could think of that could be. But it's such a large number. Prepaid assessments and revenues, 121. That would be homeowners. Yeah, you can use.
So a portion of it is homeowner fees
That
that
they've
are
paid
sent in early.
Okay, early, right?
Okay, there are some people who pay a year
Yeah.
in advance. And so those are the
Okay.
prepaid assessments.
But it's a big number for it all to be
Yeah.
that
The rest of it is revenue items and we can go
that we
back
haven't.
to
Okay,
accounting.
all right. I just was looking at the size of that number. I recognize, and I used to do this when I first moved here back in the days when I was writing checks every month. I would write 3 or 4, or pay 3 or 4 months at a time, and I'd always be ahead. And when that happens, it generates a liability here that is then accrued month after month after month as it is earned by the association. I don't do that anymore because we have the great click pay system. It's really the way to go for paying your monthly maintenance, so I don't prepay it. Um, After that, we have the fund balances for the year and the net income. It's not really net income. It's really uh, receipts in excess of expenditures. We don't have income the way a business does, but it is net cash flow, receipts in excess of expenditures of 108,000 for the year. So we're in good shape. If you go to the next page, this talks about how we stand relative to how we budgeted for this year. Assessments are always 100% right on, no variance, because it's a known number from the get-go, from day one. So it's always on budget. We've picked up a few $100s in late fees and insufficient fund fees. Um, that people who send us a check and the check bounces, uh, they have to pay the fees for it. So while it is income, it's also, some of that goes out because it is expense on our part. We have interest income of $2,000. The other thing that we get in the way of income is municipal reimbursement for the lighting of our streets, for the garbage removal, and for the road repairs. Since we are inside an HOA and the township is relieved of the responsibility that they have to other homeowners in Monroe Township to light their streets, pick up their garbage, and recycling, and do road repairs, they give us a reimbursement of some sort each year. And so that's what you're seeing there in the way of income. The next is our operating expenditures. The first item is snow CMA. I see there's nothing for the year, which leads me to believe that somehow we didn't do any in January or February, no CMA.
They just have not been charged yet. If you look at the explanation, you'll see they are still pending.
So LMS hasn't billed us for last year, for the CMA from the early part of the year?
They have billed us, it just hasn't been charged to Greenbriar as yet.
Oh, okay, got it, okay. We will be billed. We did have CMA applications. While it shows zero, it hasn't been charged over to it. Yes, there's the microphone, please, the microphone, please. CMA, by the way, is what we would generically call salt. It's the stuff we put down on our driveways and walkways to melt ice. It's a very expensive proposition, somewhere in the $20,000 per application in the Greenbriar community. And so we have to make a go, no go decision every time, which we leave up to Matt. And so that's what we're talking about here. Go ahead. Leave it on when you're done.
You said that we've been billed.
Yeah,
On the
apparently.
snow. So if that is the case, if we've been billed, it should have been recorded as an expense and on the accounts payable. So there's an inaccuracy here. Unless I'm a little confused about accrual accounting.
No, you're not confused about it. He's a CPA. He's not confused about accrual account. I think what we have is an inter-community charge. I think what you're saying is WOA paid that bill and has yet, we're waiting for reimbursement from Greenbriar.
So where is that? So
it's-
that also, that intercompany account should have been recorded.
You're right.
Unless
No, I get
mistaken.
what you're saying. You're right. There should have been an expense on our books and a liability on our books, and the flip side of that on WOA's books. It
dealing with the
probably
intercompany account.
the intercompany account. We do have intercompany accounts. It may actually be in there already. But it's in
Since
the
I am up
intercompany.
here, I have another question.
Yeah, it's in, Jay, it is in the intercompany account. We do have
So why
relationship
doesn't
account.
it show?
No, it's in other liability, no, I'm sorry, it's part of the prepaid assessments and revenues. included in there.
It's
or
all
bunched
there.
together.
It just isn't booked correctly at this point. You're 100% right.
Okay.
It's got to
Mine-
be rebooked.
Yeah, it's got to be readjusted.
Yep, yep, yep.
I have another, just a small question.
Should've been in
Okay.
the book.
It shows about $2,000 in interest income.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we had put some of that money in a money market and we have $1 million in the bank,
We did.
all right? We had $1 million, let's say we only put 500,000 in the bank for the cash flow period. At let's say 3%, we'd be talking a lot more in revenue. So therefore, there is a problem with the management of the cash flow of the HOA. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll look into that. I know we changed the methodology that we were using for investing surplus and capital funds after the new management company came in. And the new management company is handling that at their corporate level. So I don't have it. Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Kathy.
Okay, so certain monies of the capital accounts are invested in, and generally in CDs at higher rates. But for the purposes of having liquidity, a small percentage is invested. And so the 2,000 comes from that smaller percentage. Now, Greenbriar would invest their own funds. WOA has nothing to do with it, so
Right.
I have to defer to you for what has been
Well,
invested. I
we
don't know.
used to have, Merrill Lynch used to invest in CD ladders and things like that. But the back office of First Res took over that responsibility. It was handled when we were doing it ourselves through Merrill Lynch. We gave authorization, correct, to them to handle that. But what you're saying makes sense. So this is the interest on the highly liquid portion of those investments. There's other interest that is accrued and earned from the CD ladders or that sort of thing. This is the small, yeah. We are what? We are doing a decent job. You know, I see in the newspaper you can get 3.754%, and those are being attended to. But of course, those kinds of interest rates are for relatively short-term CDs. So I'm not sure they would pay a lot of attention to a 90-day or a 180-day CD. Okay, moving forward, big expense, of course, is garbage removal. We hit, the actual was 144,000. Our budget was 140,000. So we're kind of on budget there. Maintenance, we spent on grounds maintenance 14,000. That's probably mostly tree removals. We do have a lot of tree removals. You know, these trees are old and we don't want them coming on people's heads or their property. So we are pretty aggressive when a tree is failing. We have removals. So that's probably what it is. And it's still, even that, it's still close to budget. Street lighting is right on budget. Grounds maintenance is right on budget. You could see we've contributed $127,000 to our reserves. Now, these are a variety of reserve accounts, but we contributed that to the reserves this year. And then we have postage and legal fees. Legal fees were 12,000 for the year, right on budget, and 3 or 4,000 for general administrative fees, postage, odds and ends like that. So that's it. That's the picture.
May I make a suggestion, Mark?
Yeah.
That for the people who are on Zoom, who are probably not able to follow any of this discussion, could we possibly put this on our portal? So
Oh,
that
yeah,
if
this
they,
should be,
if
yeah.
they'd like to come on and look at these numbers.
I already put it on the portal.
Very good. Excellent.
So that's it. That's the conditions there. Moving on with committees. By the way, the budget committee will now be kicking into high gear, more frequent meetings, more focused meetings, and more attention to starting to put together next year's budget. Covenants hasn't met, much to, oh, they did? Oh, go ahead. You got something to report on it? Good.
Covenants did meet because of a rejection of an application by site
Oh,
review.
right.
And it didn't go well, so that's being referred now to the Greenbriar Board.
Okay, so what Chester is talking about, there's a process. If you present something in the community, if you have some problem with what you're being told or what is required of you or whatever, you bring it to the Covenants Committee. The Covenants Committee hears you out, and they're effectively like a jury. They either vote in your favor or against your favor. And I've seen it go both ways, by the way. So if they vote against you, the appellant, you would call that, the person who's appealing the matter, would then bring it to the Greenbriar Board. After that, they have to go, there are further steps they can go, but that's normally where things end up. So this person apparently did not get the answer they were hoping for, and they're taking advantage of their opportunity to bring it one step higher. So I guess we'll be dealing with that in the future. Go ahead, site review.
As far as the site review goes, the site review committee met on July 1st. It looked at 11 applications, as I previously mentioned. One was rejected, referred to covenants. The 16 inspections were undertaken. August 5th, the committee met again. 32 applications were examined. All were approved. The committee conducted 19 inspections. Just like to take a moment at this time to mention that the committee has updated, revised the policy covering painting or color painting of doors, shutters, stucco, and so forth. We've added to the list trim to make it clear what colors are suitable for trim, as well as foundation painting, something new. Just run through this very quickly with you. It's basically the old policy. It'll go online, and it can be reviewed if you're planning any work around the outside of your house that affects color and painting. It'd be wise to review the policy. But one change that was made to give the homeowner a bit more flexibility was to add white as one color suitable for painting shutters. Originally, it was beige, black, or the color of your front door. So now white is included. Apparently, white was approved and used by the builder 25 years ago. I wasn't here for that, but that's what I'm told. We also addressed attached homes for the first time. Basically, we're talking about the garage doors of attached homes. We are asking that the garage doors be painted the same color. Your choice would be white, or in the case of homes with vinyl siding that is beige in color, the doors can be beige. Both doors would be either white or beige, no two-tone. Trim around the windows must be white or beige. And if you go around the community, that's the case. We also clarified that trim flanking the front windows on some homes, or columns and posts that might be adjacent to the front door on other homes, should be beige in the case of beige siding, or should be white where the homeowner's siding is other than beige. We noticed that quite a few homes in the community have painted foundations. The building we're in right now is painted. My house, unfortunately, was painted by the previous owner. We're not encouraging it. There's downsides to painting. It's called flaking, discoloration, hard to match, and so forth. Should you decide that you want your foundation painted, or it's already been painted and you want to repaint it, we have two approved colors, which are now in the policy, basically white and sidewalk gray. Uh, One other item was that one of our homeowners came up with applying a thin layer of masonry cement called parging to the foundation. And there's an extensive article that was posted last, I guess
Yeah, last issue
of the newsletter that addressed the process. I saw it. It's reasonably attractive. It actually works better than paint for those foundations that have cracks and so forth in them. Anyway, the result of the parging gives you a medium gray, which is in line with the sidewalk gray. It's an acceptable practice. The only thing we ask is that you do not add pigment to the cement mix. There's good reasons for that. Basically, it's very unlikely that you would do the entire foundation with one bucket of cement. It'll harden up too quickly. So the risk is you put in a certain amount of pigment, and then you make up another bucket of cement. You do another 30 feet of your foundation, and that pigment doesn't match the first one. So rather than having the multiple tone effect, we're saying don't stain the cement mix. That's pretty much the changes, and I say this will be posted and is effective now. Thank you.
Yeah, that article about parging, the homeowner did it himself, and it still, by the way, if you're gonna do that sort of thing, it still requires site committee oversight, like anything else that's done to an exterior of a home. The gentleman who did the parging wrote up an extensive explanation of how he did it. It's not for me. It's not something I would do. If I would hire somebody to do it, I would have done it years ago, but not today. But if you're interested, if you find your foundation to be unattractive, might be something you might consider. And the article was quite thorough in the last issue. And we put the article in there to share with the community something that may be of value. Okay, moving on. Alan Greenberg is the liaison to the Newcomers Committee. He could not be here tonight, so he emailed something to be read in his stead with regard to the committee. The Newcomers Committee met on July 30th to welcome about a dozen new members of our community. Some have been here for a few months, some literally just hours. No matter how long, we welcome them all. Our next session will be later in the fall. More to follow when that date is set. So the Newcomers Committee meets periodically once we've accumulated a handful of newcomers. It's an unknown quantity and time frame. We would like to thank Joan Hermele, who has been the chair of the committee for the past several years. Joan is stepping down, and we are happy to have Hollis Wisniewski fill this role for the remainder of the calendar year. Thank you, Joan, for all you have done. We will miss you in this capacity and look forward to your contributions to the committee moving forward. Please welcome Hollis as our interim chair of the Newcomers Committee. Of course, come January, all committees are reset. All the members of the committee have to resubmit their applications. And so the committee members and chair people change at that time. So Hollis has agreed to fill out the remainder of Joan's. Joan did a spectacular job with this committee. This is one of our really, really good committees. They do a great job. They are appreciated by the people who come and are instructed by them. They do it for the entire community without regard to which side of the residence you're on, Whittingham or Greenbriar. And Joan has really, really knocked it out of the park with this. Another great piece of work that she's done. So, but time for her, like all of us at some point, to move on. So that's it.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Let's go over to our, the lower, committees. Do I have anything further to say, Kathy, on the budget and finance?
Yes, I'm going to go over, everyone should have a condo presentation. We'll start there. For those who are on Zoom, we placed the second quarter update presentations on the portal so that you can follow with us, follow along with us. Starting with condo, only because it's easier. So just to, same format, just to kind of go have a summary of the balance sheet. So a lot of these accounts have many line items in there, some ups and downs, but this is basically the bottom line of what our accounts look like for condo. The operating fund right now is sufficient, but of course, we have significant expenses anticipated for the remainder of the year. Discretionary fund is low in balance. I'm a little concerned about that. That comes from the sale of homes in condo, and it can be used to fund any type of an emergency. There's a small balance for deferred maintenance. We don't have any deferred maintenance scheduled for this year. Of course, the more important account is the replacement reserve fund. That is our capital reserve account, and that is where the roofs, the fences, the steps that we just talked about, the concrete steps. Now with the capital reserve account has to fund preventive maintenance also. So there's a lot of preventive maintenance that was conducted at the beginning of the year. As of June 30th, you can see the balance there is 744,000. By the end of this year, with all anticipated projects, the balance will go down to about 480,000. And then we will continue to rebuild it each year. And hopefully we won't have anything necessary in 2026. The capital reserve study does not have anything major for 2026, and we hope that that stays that way. So moving on to page 4 of the condo presentation, just simply our income statement as of June 30th, as of the second quarter 2025. It's just a snapshot of where we are, what categories are over budget, what is under budget. Nothing significant. The bottom line is right now, our net income is at a very, very favorable position for June year to date, but there are a lot of expenses that we are still anticipating for the remainder of the year. The next page 5 shows a very preliminary look at what our projections will be for the full year. This is now knowing that there are certain expenses that we are awaiting and will be charged out by the end of the year. So we're going to be very close to budget. We're going to be right on budget, I'm hoping. My projections are basically what I believe to be the worst case, knowing what we know as of today. So just a snapshot in time of what we think the future will look like. First look. And then, of course, the last are just pie charts that show where the money was spent, what expense category. Of course, for condo, our biggest expense is funding our reserve accounts. And that is roughly 40% of all the maintenance fees that are collected go to funding our reserve accounts. And then the next category is grounds maintenance and then general and administrative. So that's just a sort of preliminary view as of June 30th, second quarter. Now, moving on to WOA. Same format. Going through, I'll just run through the balance sheet. We are looking at a very small balance for the operating fund, but luckily, we do have reserve accounts, money that is kept in an account to fund emergencies or any special needs. We have a stormwater management fund that takes care of any expense associated with stormwater. We have a snow reserve account, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But the snow reserve account is basically an account that will fund all of the costs, the expenses associated with snow removal. Now, the discretionary funds, there are two funds that are held for emergency purposes. The one fund was the Comcast fund. That was any vendor over the years that has given us any kind of a arrangement or a deal, or here is a stipend for pulling in our service. So Comcast was one of those. We had an agreement with Comcast that over 10 years, they would give us $178,000, and that is the majority of the balance that is in there. We have $313,000 in that account. That can be used to fund any emergency, any overrun, any type of need that may not have been budgeted. There's also the discretionary reserve fund, which is, again, as I mentioned earlier, for condo. When a house is purchased, the buyer will pay a fee. That fee goes directly into this account. And then the last account, the replacement reserve fund, that is the capital reserve account. That account is used for replacements, improvements of our fixed assets. And for example, the pickleball court was charged against that account. At the end of the year, with the deposits that go in, right now the balance is, as of June, the balance is $886,000. But by the end of the year, with the deposits that are made, it's actually going to be a little bit higher, closer to 900 plus. On to the Whittingham homeowners presentation. Again, an income statement. It shows the major categories in Whittingham homeowners operating income statement. I only want to point at, I'm going to leave it to everyone to take a look and go through it, and any questions that may arise, you certainly can approach me. I would be happy to any of the line items. I do have nations that will guide you in the reasons that there are variances from the budget. Just the big ticket item, the snow clearing, there was $197,000 charged thus far. There still is approximately another $71,000 remaining to be charged. Part of that is CMA applications booked incorrectly. There's an adjustment waiting to be made to charge back Greenbriar. That was done at the main office from First Service. They did not know that it was a Greenbriar expense. We've already identified it, and they will be making the correction. other than that, there are not many major items. The explanations are provided. If we move on to a major category, page 8, again, the first look at what we believe our full year 2025 expenses will look like. These are estimates. It's still very early in the year. They will change, absolutely will change. As time goes on, emergencies occur, items that were not budgeted for. We cannot predict what those are. So this is our first look at what 2025 will end up being. And then, of course, we have the pie chart on the last page also, which just shows, of course, for WOA, the biggest expense is our payroll expenses, which of course all go through first service, and followed by administrative expenses, followed by clubhouse expenses, and so on. So if anybody has any questions, please approach me. I would be happy to explain further. Again, all of this information, and I say it every single month during our meetings, all of this information in detail is available on the portal. So please go and look. And then again, any questions, approach me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Just so you know, Kathy does a lot of this extra work on her own, even though we have a controller in the back office through First Service. She spends hours and hours and hours, overseeing the finances to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. So I have to commend Kathy for the work that you do on that.
And she's got, yes, well deserved. She's got an amazing handle on all of these numbers. So we're very fortunate. And Kathy sits on both budget committees for Greenbriar and for WOA and Whittingham. When it comes to budget committees, I've said this before, the members of the budget committee are on those committees not based on where they live, but based on the skill sets they bring, because there are special skills that are needed in the budget and finance area. So we have people who live in either community on both of those committees. Yeah. Yeah, we have really good, and we lost a gentleman recently who was on the budget committee for a very, very long time. Great, great loss.
Okay, again, thank you all for all your efforts here. All right, let's move on. The next item is covenants. Anything to report?
This did not meet this month.
Okay. Entertainment Committee.
The Entertainment Committee met. They're pretty much booked through next year. And our turnouts have been phenomenal. We have some great shows and we hope you all attend. The next one is September 27th to see a Crosby, Stills and Nash tribute. And those tickets are $30 a ticket. We look forward to seeing you there.
Okay. All right, Bob, thank you. You guys have been doing a great job there. You've been selling these shows out and you've been getting, yeah, a lot of people are enjoying it. So good work on the committee's part selecting these bands. Okay, let's move on to Landscape Committee.
Okay. Landscape did not meet this month. There was no need. We had already decided on the flowers for the fall. And so they are preparing those, getting them ready to plant for coming very soon, unfortunately, probably by mid-September.
Okay. Site review. Jeff, you have anything on that?
Not much. I had to miss the last meeting and I've not received any communication since they held the meeting. I do know a major concern being addressed by the committee is the presence of satellite dishes in common areas. And my understanding now is we are having our attorney look into the
Yes,
legalities
we've
of
asked him
this.
to take a review of that and give us his opinion on that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's it.
all right, thank you. Last but not least, Town Center Committee?
Town Center Committee did meet. We discussed so many items, too numerous to mention everything. But some of the major things we discussed was people wanted to get a better understanding of rules and regulations with regard to the fitness center, wanted to do some updating of the ballroom if possible, uh, and Prospect Plains Gate, again, needs to be fixed. I understand a truck or something hit it, I was told. And we are going to bring all of these items to the board at the executive committee, and then when we have responses, we'll share with everybody. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, before we go to the open forum, I did want to make a comment. But as you know, there's an election coming up in a couple of weeks. And for the last few weeks, I've been asked a couple hundred times easily, what was my plans and what was I going to be doing. I really had some mixed feelings about what I wanted to do. This takes so much of your time, but we've done so many great things that I felt like if I didn't continue, maybe the good things we still have planned would not be able to happen. So I spoke with my wife and she says, whatever you're comfortable with, go ahead and do. So I just wanted to let everyone know that I am going to be running again. I dropped my papers off today and hopefully, you know, the great work that I did coming on here with Kathy and Bob Brown, you know, can continue. All right, but so in saying that, I'm going to move it on to the open forum. Anyone in the public have anything to say? Please come up to the microphone.
If you don't mind. It's on. It's on. My mouth isn't there. I have to thank you all, and it does take a lot of time. Tom, you're right, but everybody's working so well. It would be a shame to break that little club up. Okay, I have just 3 items. But when Mark mentioned something about the Greenbriar budget, I have a problem on my lawn with 4 different spots, bare spots. And I spoke to Renata, my favorite, and she said if you're on the right year, you may be able to get help. Now we have a very large, what's the word that I want to use? No, I'm not going to say income. I spoke to the gentleman at LMS, and he said, "Oh yeah, I could do it. It takes nothing. I could buy the seeds faster," which I may. But I spoke to Renata, and she said, if you're on the even year, they may come, because on the other year they overseed. So I missed it. They didn't overseed my house.
Let me explain.
Yeah, go ahead.
Renata is right, but she didn't have a good understanding of it. What we do is we do an overseeding. It's actually called slit seeding. They put slits in the earth and put seed down so that the seed goes below the level of the earth. And we do that throughout the community. We do one portion of the community on the odd years, one portion on the even years. Having said that, if there were bare spots, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, in the before the spring, they go around and put down seed patches on the bare spots before the heat of summer to get those bare spots covered without regard to the whole slit seating process.
They do that for snow damage if you report it.
Yeah,
This is along my whole path.
yeah. But isn't that work normally done in March, April kind of thing?
Yeah, very early spring.
Yeah, you can't-
People report snow damage and we make a list and they'll come out and they'll
Yeah.
fix all of it.
So
Matt? Yeah, I'm sorry.
you didn't have to wait for slit seating, whether it's your year or not. Patches are dealt with in that fashion.
Okay, and LMS said that they would take care of it. So I called to remind him to take care of it. The lawn is ugly. It really is.
Call us so we can tell him to,
I don't want to
take care of it.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll leave the restaurant for last. The parking on our streets are getting ridiculous. I wish our security guards would take a ride around and anybody that's parked on a curve in Greenbriar, I wish they would be informed. We have, I was told, the widest street in on Chichester. I hate to go home in the dark because around 30, I think it's 32 Chichester, and the house across from them, there's always cars parked on that curve. And then if you try to get around this side, you have the other side. So I ride the line down the middle. The other day, there was a car coming. So that was 4 cars on that street. And I stopped because I wasn't going to chance it. It's very dangerous. We have this all over the community. We never had so many cars parked outside on the street. And it bears looking into because there is going to be an accident. I hope it's not me.
Matt, we did speak about when the guy was done with the yellow painting refreshing, that he would go and paint the curved corners. Now, I don't know if, Lolly, if you're talking about a curve that's associated with a street being there or like a cul-de-sac
It's houses on Chichester.
and there's a curve in the road.
Yes, on
Yeah,
around
there shouldn't,
32.
there shouldn't be on the inside of the curve. We were going to put yellow paint,
Oh, there's no-
but it wasn't like a emergency priority thing. It was just when
Yeah.
the guy was done and ready, he was going to get to that.
Yeah, we'll have Bill get to that. He's doing fire hydrants right now.
Yeah. So it's in the list of things to do, but it's not like,
I would
know-
appreciate it since we are going to start getting dark earlier.
yeah,
And I rush to get home because I don't want to. There's
yeah.
about
I,
3 spots on
we
there.
addressed I like the idea of the curves being a no parking area because it does make it very hard to swing around them. Chester and I have a curve like that on Dawson Lane. That's very, it's you're going along and all of a sudden there's a car there where you want to be driving. So that is being done.
Very dangerous.
Yeah, there's quite a few places like that
A lot.
that need yellow
lot.
paint to indicate we don't want your car here.
Well, but they have to be told.
Well,
I
once the
would-
yellow paint is down, then you're in a position to,
Okay.
violations, warnings and stuff like that. Absent the yellow paint, there's not much you can do. But it is in there. It is in the
Okay.
list of things we're going to do.
Before there's an accident. Anyway, the cars coming into the development and the new codes, I don't think it's working well because no matter what time I come in or go out, there's lines of cars waiting to get into or getting out of the community, no, getting into the community. And it didn't alleviate any of the traffic from there. I hate to say it, but I think it's the guards that are not prepared. And I mean, company coming in here, oh, when are you going to get? I know we have a 4-digit whatever. It's not working. And you had mentioned that we would keep it for a while to see. Well, it's not working. It's not.
Well,
So-
we'll continue to try to find what's going to work over there. And,
I don't know what the guards are doing in their time.
well, and we're not there either. So, but I will ask Matt for next time we caucus to bring Marco in, and we're going to have another discussion with Marco about what we can do to make it better.
Marco is fine, and our little, what's his name? Captain Tom, yeah. There's two guards in there that are doing their job, and you never see those lines.
The,
So,
the codes have been working a lot, given the feedback we're getting from Marco and Tom. We had some backups today. But overall, they've actually been working. I used to come in, well, I come in before 8 o'clock every day and I couldn't get in the gate. Now I come in, there's 1 or 2 cars.
this was,
So that's what I gauge it by.
this was 4 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, out to the road, 4 o'clock.
By definition, that process that they came up with the 5-digit number of the day, by definition,
It's not
it has
working.
to be beneficial. It has to be, because a car drives up and says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the gate opens. No phone call, no waiting, nobody stuck behind you. By definition, that has to be beneficial.
But
The
people,
question is, are people calling
Right,
or
right.
telling their
they're not.
individuals what the number of the day is? Now, I've used the number of the day and it has worked, but there's sometimes I can't. I don't know when my landscaper's arriving.
right.
So I can't tell him. He just shows up whenever he shows up based on his schedule. So, but I say, if you are using the number of the day, you have to be alleviating the situation there. It has to be.
Nobody ever thought it was going to be a total solution to the problem. But I
Okay.
do think it has alleviated it, because I've had people just come right through without a backup. There are other times I've gone by, there's no backup. There are times there are backups, but there's also a variance in the amount of traffic that you have coming in.
4 o'clock in the afternoon,
Well, I don't know
which
about
is
the
a
time, but
slow time. So, okay, so let's
different
keep
people,
working.
different times. If somebody's having a party and they've got a dozen guests coming,
Okay.
Right.
Restaurants. Yes, more. I am gaining weight by the week. Just keep stuffing my face at the Greenery. It's a great restaurant. I'm there at least 4 times a week. For people who do not have spouses or elderly, of course not me, we appreciate that restaurant and we hate to lose it. And unfortunately, like before, people are not patronizing. And it's not because of their food, it's not because of the service. People just take it for granted, and that's it. I would like to propose that we go back to the $15 per house fee that we voted on and it passed with no appeal. I mean, we had nothing better ever, maybe 20 years ago, than this restaurant. And I know that they have a contract, but contracts can be broken. And I would be very upset if we lost another restaurant. So we all have to pull up our chair at the nearest table and patronize that place. Believe me, I'm not getting anything for saying this. I just love it. And I know that many people here are not patronizing. So before we have to institute that fee, I need everybody to think about it, because that's the only way any restaurant ever made it here. And I just hope we do something about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is anyone else looking to speak?
Ed Cornfeld, 9 Wellington.
Can you get a little closer to the mic, please?
Ed Cornfeld, 9 Wellington Place. I'm addressing the board. Joe, you know me. I live on your block. And we have had issues in the back. People on the block, you know that. Drainage problems. About a month ago, Matt came out to look at it, with Christian also, I think, no? Susie. And they admitted there's a problem there. I have mold on my patio. We can't sit out there. They can't mow the grass in the back because of the water problem. The side of the house, they don't mow because of the water problem. And I was told that it's going to be taken care of. 2 weeks later, Bill from landscaping came by. He was told to take a look at it. He wasn't sure why. Nobody had spoken to him except, I don't know if it
No,
was
I
you.
did. Bill's one of our employees.
All right. I asked him if Matt spoke to him. He said no. He said it was a woman, but
Yeah, Susie probably talked to him
Susie.
instead.
And he said, yeah, you have a real problem here and you need to do this and that. Very similar to what Terry did. And I haven't heard from anybody in a month. I was told by an advisor that I should get this on record speaking to the board because I don't know if the board runs the management company or the management company runs the board. I'm really not familiar with that. But we have a real problem there, and it's a health problem. It's a foundation problem. We had a tree come down. They cut it down and they left the stump. The stump is still there. There's a dead tree next to it. It's still there. There's a dying tree next to that one. It's still there. I was told that the land is graded toward my house and it needs to be fixed or they need to put something in. I've heard nothing from the management company, but I was told that I need to speak with the board and get it on record. And so I'm speaking with you. There's a health problem there. There's a water problem there. There's a problem that they can't mow my lawn back there. And so there's a bug problem there. I want to go on record that at 9 Wellington, there's a problem and it needs to be solved. It's not my land that's causing the problem. It's Whittingham. That's Whittingham property in the back.
Okay. Can you do us as a board a favor? Can you put your thoughts to a paper and email it to us with your address? Because when we caucus, that's the time we would talk about this.
Well, let me ask you, Matt.
Yeah, we've had Bill look at it. We've had, obviously, I'm on vacation last week. Susie's on vacation. We're working on getting some ideas for the drainage back there. And I'll follow up with the tree guy.
But when Bill came, he had the idea. He laid it all
Bill,
out.
Bill has also been doing drainage projects elsewhere, so he's been pretty tied up for a while. So we'll get you next. We only have a couple guys on staff to be doing drainage, Bill and 2 other guys, and they're part-time. So it takes a while to get some things done.
Well, can somebody stay in touch with me just so I hear from you?
Yeah, I made notes already to get in touch with you.
And if not, is it okay if I get in touch with you?
I'm right upstairs 5 days a week. 8 to 4.
We'll know where to find
I'm
you.
extension 228.
Tom has suggested you document this and email it to
Oh,
him.
no, I've done more than document this already. I'm just doing what I'm told right
Okay.
now, which is.
Well,
Yeah,
I
forward
mean-
it- forward it over to Tom.
By
Yeah.
the way, it should be documented anyway. You wrote it all up, right?
Yeah, we got work orders for it.
Well,
What I've heard from
We don't see that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the management does. The board doesn't see that stuff unless you bring it to our attention.
All right. What else can I do to bring it to your attention?
Well, I think you did a good job tonight.
Yeah.
I hope you all serve next year too.
Oh,
I just,
can you say that louder in the microphone?
I'd like to make a comment because I also am a homeowner in Greenbriar. We have a drainage problem. I think all of Greenbriar, for the most part, in between all our homes, there is a drainage problem. The first thing I will say is please make sure, and this is something that we did, and it helped a great deal. You have a sprinkler system. A lot of people forget that it is being watered every night. Now, I don't know necessarily that this applies to you, but we had to shut off our system in that area, our zone. So they should be basically zoned out. You can ask your sprinkler guy, make sure you cover your backyard, those areas that are not really damp. Yes.
You got to speak into the microphone because the people
Yeah.
on Zoom can't hear you.
Can't-
I
Right.
put in a new roof. I put in 4.5-inch gutters as opposed to the 3 inches that are on there. I changed had them change the downspouts, and I've no longer been watering my backyard. I've no longer been watering my side yard, and I'm still underwater.
Do you have a neighbor who also, because we had the problem, we
They
shut
don't water
everything off.
either anymore.
Okay, that's fine. That was step one. Step two would have been the downspouts. We ended up digging underneath and brought all our downspouts all the way out away from our home. And that also helped.
It won't help. I have
Okay.
a ski slope in the backyard coming down from Whittingham. As you know, Joe.
I was offering it as a suggestion. I was
It starts this
hopeful.
high and it goes down to my house.
Gotcha. All right. I
Also,
was
there
hopeful
is,
that it may help. Maybe it wasn't thought of, but it looks like you've covered everything. And hopefully we can see what can be done.
One small point of clarification to wrap things up. The board runs the management company.
so I'm coming to the board. We need help.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
at the pool.
All right. Mike, can we come to the,
Anyway, my issue is not as severe as his. 2 Sherwood Drive. This has to deal with Westminster. I think I brought it up before. Cars, I'm talking into the mic. You can't, where's your hearing aid? Anyway, I said that, 2 Sherwood Drive, Mike Boxon. All right, Joe? On Westminster, cars constantly park the wrong way on the wrong side of the street. The maintenance people, like David's Landscaping, they've got these big, huge trailers. There's no cones put out there. They're on the wrong side of the street. Now, security does drive around over the speed limit, but they drive around. They need to stop and knock on a door and say, turn your car around. That's their job for security, safety. I mean, I'm a senior, but there are super seniors that drive around that may not see that trailer from David's. It's a big problem on Westminster.
I'm just curious, have you ever called security to put a complaint in about
I've spoken to the board before, and they said,
to the board on that?
maybe not this one, but it's brought up before.
Mike, if you see it, call security and they'll send Marco or Tom or somebody right out there
Yeah.
to take a
But
look
they're
at it.
driving around, they should see it, and they should stop and tell them. Yep. Yeah. And this has to deal with visitors too, parking on the wrong side of the street. That's the security's job when they drive around. Stop and talk to the people. Give them a ticket. That's even better.
You understand,
Contractors or
though,
not.
the fact of the matter is we don't have any ability to give anyone a ticket. We can't give David's Landscaping or any
Give a
other.
fake ticket. What the heck's the difference?
Yeah, we just don't have that big. We could tell them you have to put cones, you can't do this, you can't do that, but we have no ability to.
Well, you know what
violate.
I mean, Mark.
Sit down, Michael.
I'm leaving.
Mike.
Goodbye.
Mike.
All right, thank
if-
you.
Mike, if you see something, contact
Barbara, do you,
security.
Barb-
Contact security. They got a lot of ground to cover, so there's things they miss. So
okay.
point it out to them.
All right, Barbara, go ahead.
Barbara
Thank-
Rackbuck, 10C Rutland. I'm asking the board to look into the irrigation company for Whittingham. I have called 4 different times to say that even side of Rutland's not getting watered, or the odd side of Rutland's not getting watered. So now the even side on my side, but not all the way around the curve, is getting watered. The odd side is not getting watered. The front of the building is not getting enough water. Where we planted new things, there's not enough water being made. We're going through a hot, dry spell. And we paid the irrigation company a lot of money. We paid them $19,000 to make sure everything was fine. The second time I called, I was told that the man was there the Wednesday before. He checked every single head on Rutland. I said, well, he may have checked the heads, but the water's not coming up. I'll look into it again. He came the next Wednesday, and now I have water. But the other side of the street no longer has water. Either our irrigation company is not doing the job correctly, or our irrigation system is 33 years old, and maybe it needs major update. I don't know which it is. But it's difficult to see the lawns going brown, even after we had so much rain at the beginning of the season and it was lush, and now all the way around. And most people don't call. Unfortunately, a few of us do, and we become the pain in the office. So we need to do something.
Okay, well,
Barbara,
Matt, can you look into this and speak with the landscaping company and get back to us and let us know if there's any progress on this?
Irrigation, not landscaping. It's the
Sprinkler
irrigation.
system.
say that again.
It's the irrigation company.
Yeah,
not
that's what I
landscaping.
meant.
Yeah, they're
Sprinkler
here
guy.
every Wednesday, and we have them go through checking everything. We're also in a drought. They've actually have restrictions on watering right now. We're not under those restrictions yet, but since we haven't had rain in a long time, it's tough to keep up. But
Okay.
they come out and check every single Wednesday. So put a work order in, call me, call Susie, call Renata, we'll send them out. And the way that they check it is they actually turn it on and run it.
Not always.
Well, they have to.
Well, I live over there.
That's the only way to check it.
I live over there and I walk around twice a day. And I can tell you, I haven't seen the guy checking anything in weeks.
He's checking in with us and he's doing work orders every single Wednesday.
All good paper.
Okay,
Matt,
thank you, Barbara.
I did
Um,
report something to Susie. Prospect Plains, as you are coming in on the left side, has been going off every day every other day, I'm sorry, at 4:15. I told
It's-
Susie, they told her it was fixed. It wasn't fixed.
I think they're running extra for the flowers,
I don't know if they
but
were.
we'll find out. When
but it
did you
was at
report to Susie since she's been away?
About a week
Mm.
and a half ago.
Okay.
About a week and a half ago, but they came Wednesday, they said they fixed it, meaning it's no longer going on at 4:15, but it was.
Okay. All right, Dennis,
Dennis Caliger, 29C Rutland. I've seen systems where, getting back to the gates, where you can text or email a temporary code in the form of a barcode to a guest. They hold it up at the gate and they go through. You could do a temporary pass, a one time, where you use it once, it expires. You could put a time limit on it, all through an app. And the resident controls it. They don't have to bother the front gate.
The beauty is they can use any gate. They don't have to get jammed up on half acre.
Well, I think you have some good comment there. Whether the reader that we have will read it off the phone is another issue.
I would
I'm not sure if
assume-
it will.
Right, we would have to look into that. but
Yeah.
It's a barcode, it should be able to
Yeah,
read it.
but having it emailed so you can show the driver, I mean, the guard at the house is probably a good idea.
Why would you show the drive, you go right to the gate?
All right.
The
all right,
barcode,
we're gonna take a look at that.
yeah, you don't need to go to the guard at that point.
Yeah, well, we'll take a look at it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Anyone else? This gentleman's coming up. Good evening. Can you speak closer to the mic so everyone can hear you?
Yes, my name is Lynn Drew. My mother wanted to name me Lynn, Lynn, and my father wanted to name me Andrew. Thus, I became a product of a compromise.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the board is used to that. And first of all, everybody give the board a ground hand for all their great work they're doing. Give them a round of applause. This is hard work.
Thank you.
So I'm a new person here. I just moved here at the end of July. I'm from New York City. I'm a federal agent, work for the federal government, contemplating retirement. I have nothing but delightful things to say about this community. And I'm optimistic that this board will address everyone's issues and get everything resolved. But now the security, everybody has, my neighbors have opened up the open arm. I want to come to my first community board meeting just to meet y'all board and see the meeting. But again, thank you. It's a very beautiful place.
Okay.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Anyone else in the audience want to speak? All right, seeing nobody, I will close the public portion. Any comment from the board?
Anyone else want to say nice things?
Anyone on Zoom? Matt, what comments do you have for us?
We have a couple of things on Zoom that I've been answering as we went along. I think I'm pretty much up to date on it.
Okay. All righty. So in saying that, do I have a motion to adjourn? Jay is always the first to adjourn, followed by Jeff. Okay. So everyone, thank you all for coming, and the people on Zoom, thank you for hanging out there. I know it's been a long meeting for you. Thank you.